Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, the last day of January. Can you believe that? It is the 31st of January. Man, how did that happen? It just happened so quickly. I can't believe we're, you know, February tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first day of February. Anyway, I'm Chris Allen and you are watching 270 weather for the 270 area code and beyond. Thanks for being here on this shivering Saturday night across the area. And a lot of snow flurries today. Mostly the kind that looked real impressive when it came down and then it's over. And I saw that several times today because I was out and saw this happen many, many times. Even enough snow flurries to kind of cover the road for a little bit, and then they were gone. It wasn't much of anything, which is good. And we're going to keep it that way. Now, there still may be, as you see on radar, there still may be a few flurries that come through this evening. But overall, skies are going to begin to clear from west to east as we go into the overnight hours. And we're going to be done. Going to be done for a little while on the snow flurry side. Taking a look at the current radar situation, here's Bowling Green down here at the bottom. Let me get my marker out because I'm going to make some marks here. And as you can see, temperatures are quite chilly. It's 18, and we really didn't get much warmer than that this afternoon. 21 was the high temperature at the Bowling Green Airport this afternoon. 27 degrees colder than the normal high of 48. By the way, that normal high keeps going up. You may have not noticed, but we were at 46 as our normal high temperature for weeks and weeks. Last couple of weeks, it's gone up to 47. And as of today, it's gone up to 48. Yes, the days slowly getting longer. And eventually the temperature is going to start to rise a little bit. So the averages over the past, 150, 160 years or more, when you average out the high temperature for this day, the last day of January, through all those years in Bowling Green, it averages out to 48. And in a few more days, it'll be 49. Then it'll be 50, and so forth and so on. And as we get closer to spring, that number's going to keep on rising. So I know when it's 21 outside or 18 or 17 or whatever, you're like, 48? That's where we're supposed to be? Yeah. We're going to get close. We're going to get close. You just got to give it a little more time. I'm going to put this radar in the motion because it's still showing, as you can see, some leftover bursts of light snow. Now, for the most part, they've ended in Bowling Green, but up toward Owensboro, Evansville, you can see that some of these are kind of flying southward, and some of these will affect some of you as we get into this evening. But not to worry, this is not going to produce any additional accumulation. This is just kind of leftovers in the atmosphere from a little trough that was just kind of centered north of us. And this upper level energy is just kind of pushing through this evening. It's almost like when you put a wet towel in the dryer and it goes through the cycles and it gets drier and drier and drier. And then when the dryer stops and you think, okay, the towels should be dry. But then you get in there and it's like, ooh, the towels are not dry yet. So you turn on the heat a little bit more. Well, the atmosphere kind of does the same thing. It's just not completely rid of the upper level moisture that's still out there. So it's squeezing out just a few leftovers in the form of flurries. And I know if you were out at any time today and you saw those snow flurries come down, they were more like snow showers. And I would agree. And you even saw them cover the road or kind of cover the road, produce a dusting at best. And it looked like it was going to be a big deal. Then it's over. If anybody got anything out of this today, it was a dusting. It was a coating. I've checked around. There's not much more than that. And we didn't expect it to be much more than what you've picked up today. Let's check some cameras. This is live in Louisville at 7:36 p.m. on this Saturday evening. As you can see, Metro Louisville, all the cars are just going right down 65 and everything looks good there. You can see some of the low-hanging clouds, and yeah, they've been getting some of those same snow showers today. Current temperature, though, is at 16 and with a northeast wind at 10. Let's check Louisville. I'm sorry, Litchfield. Let's go to Grayson County. And there's the current scene. And all of this snow was already on the ground. In Litchfield, you picked up a little of that dusting. And you still may be seeing a few flurries flying around with your temperature at 15 and a northwest wind at 6. And you can see, looking down on the roads here, they're not covered. Traffic is moving. You can see cars in the background there. So again, none of this is a big deal. In Litchfield, you're about to get a little bit more of that. As you can see up in Breckenridge County, some of that light snow is coming back your direction. And some of you are going to get a little more of that as we head into the evening. Let's go over to Moorhead, Kentucky. We hardly ever go over there. Check their weather camera. Oh, look at here. Look at here. Moorhead, Kentucky, getting snow. Look at that. Yeah, but look at the road here. It's not covered. Everything else is covered, but the roads are not covered. So it's not bad. Now, you may have to be cautious, and I was today, as I was out and about, when the snow started coming down like that, and I started seeing it dusting on the roadway. I slowed down, and that's what you should do if you're out this evening. But this is not going to be a big deal. It's just dusting of snow. Not much more than that. Here's way over in western Kentucky at Gage, Kentucky. You can see that even the clouds are beginning to break apart there. And that's what's coming our way. Overnight tonight, we will begin to see some partial clearing after these snow showers and snow flurries fade away. But we got to give this a little bit more time. And then as the skies clear, boy, is it going to get cold. We're talking about anywhere from single digits like 9, 10, well, that would be double digits, single digit lows of 8 or 9, and then maybe 10 or 11. And then where the skies clear, especially in western Kentucky, once the snow showers and flurries fade away, when skies clear, we may deal with some patchy fog. And of course, yes, it would be like the last couple of times this happened, it would be freezing fog. So guess what that's going to do? Yes, it's going to cause more in the way of slick spots. Probably tomorrow morning as you get up, and if you're going to church or wherever you're going, you will need to be aware of that. All right? Just a word of caution. So the little bit of snow that you're seeing right there this evening, yeah, it may cause a slick spot or two tonight, but it's not going to cause an entire roadway hazard. Just be careful here and there, low slick spots, And then a lot of roads that I was on today still had snow and ice on them in some spots where the scoops and the graders have come by and the trucks have come by and they still can't get some of the snow and ice off of the roads because it's stuck there. It's frozen. So just that word of caution, please, if you're going to be out anytime tonight or early tomorrow. Okay, here's a look at the current temperatures from Western Kentucky University's Kentucky Mesonet Network, which is all over the state of Kentucky. And about every 5 minutes or so, it puts out an update. So at the airport, we had a high of 21 today. Okay, so let's compare. Let's compare that with what the Mesonet sites said. It said that at the National Corvette Museum, or actually the Corvette plant, the sensor there only made it as warm as 19. And down at the Ag Expo Center, a high of 18. And you see a lot of 17s and 18s, a few 19s, and even some low 20s into Western Kentucky. That's as warm as it got today. At the airport, it says it made it to 21. But really, in reality, most of you did not make it to even 20 degrees for a high temperature today. So currently, we're at 16, 17, 15, 13, 14. Yeah. And it's getting colder. Low temperature for the day. Single digits. And that's happening right now, as a matter of fact. Some of these single digit temperatures are beginning to show up right now. Ew. Any precipitation today? Well, all of these say 0, but I can tell you there was a trace of snowfall. It was all snow today. We never got even close to being warm enough to change it to anything else. So everything that fell today was snowfall everywhere. There was nothing mixed. It was not, the temperature profiles were not where you could get mixed precipitation. It was all snow, but it was very little. Once you melt it down to the water equivalent, it comes out to a trace. That's it. Winds coming out of the north and west, anywhere from 5 to 10, but there is a breeze at, say, 10 to 15. Now, what does that make it feel like? Well, let's check the wind chill. Ooh. Almost hate that I checked the wind chill. It feels like 5, the current wind chill factor here in Bowling Green. Let's see, anything colder? 4 is what it feels like in Munfordville, in Ark County right now. Yikes. Anything colder than that? Oh, look. 3 degrees is what it feels like in Hopkinsville. Oh, look at this. 2 is the current wind chill here at 7:45 in Elkton, Todd County. Phew. And we're not even to the coldest part of the night yet. So yeah, some of you are going to get way down in the single digits, and the wind chills are going to be pretty close to 0, maybe even below 0. That's why there's that cold weather advisory that's out. And that just means near 0 or below 0 wind chills. And the winds are not really going to let up that much this evening. So there's that. All right, here's the current picture. And you can see there's your upper level wave, this little disturbance that's swinging through right now. And it has been the cause of this light snow shower and snow flurry activity that we have seen today. But it's moving away as we get into the overnight hours. A few flurries still left, but skies will begin to clear because high pressure over Arkansas is going to start to build in and scrape away some of the cloud cover as we get into late tonight and early tomorrow. By the way, here is the big bomb cyclone that everybody's talking about. That is, it's yes, producing some very heavy snow and blizzard and hurricane-like conditions. Well, maybe a little offshore, but I mean, this thing is a monster. I'm glad it's going out into the Atlantic and not lingering along the coastal Carolinas and Virginia and up toward, some big cities for the rest of the weekend. But it's moving away. And the snow that we got today, the flurries, has nothing to do with this storm. This storm is that storm that's way out there and not even close to us. So that's not a worry for us. So let's go into 6 a.m. tomorrow. And you can see that big storm is moving out, moving way out. Well, wait a minute. Let me, okay, I got you. I hear you. Let me show you. It's moving out, way out. I know somebody said, hey, I can't see. I'm trying to catch these things as I'm going along. Sometimes I can't see. I'm having to go to a map and I'm having to maneuver the map and then I can't see me. So I'm trying to pay attention to, all right, there I am. Now you can see the big storm that's off into the Atlantic. That has nothing to do with our weather. It's all going away. All right. Now, back to where I was. Let's move this back. Here we go back into southern Kentucky. This is your Sunday morning. When you wake up in the morning, skies should be clearing, or at least some clouds and some sun. High pressure building in. Some of you still may have a little stray snow flurry in the morning. Now we go to noon tomorrow. A pretty quiet day, although the clouds will start to come back ahead of a warm front and another little piece of energy that's going to try to work through, bringing mainly just cloud cover. Any of this light snow is going to stay up in Missouri and Illinois, maybe down along the Wabash River. Somebody could see something. Otherwise, it's just going to stay north of us because high pressure will build in for your Sunday afternoon and Sunday night. And then look, this is a warm front. And look at the flow coming out of the south and southwest. That should warm us up into the mid-20s, maybe even upper 20s tomorrow. So it's not going to be quite as cold. And then tomorrow night, we're talking about getting down into the mid-teens instead of single digits. Now, as we head into Monday morning, a warm front begins to move in. You can see here the winds are coming out of the south and west. And we're going to warm up even more. In fact, we may get close to 40, if not hit 40, for a high temperature on Monday afternoon. Actually, Monday. Oops, reset. Okay, let's go back to Monday morning. So here we are. So tomorrow we'll warm up on your Sunday a little more, but Monday we're going to warm up maybe to around 40. And then we go into Monday night. High pressure moves east. We stay a little milder. We'll get down into the 20s, mid-20s for overnight lows, Monday night into Tuesday morning. Now, What about this rain that I talked about yesterday on Friday when I was doing the weather here and at News 40? What about that rain chance? Well, it's still coming. So let's get into it. This is Monday evening. High pressure moves east. Here comes another clipper system. Let's get into Tuesday. Here comes our rain. Now, the setup here, I want to show you that we have high pressure over the Gulf. We've got moisture coming in on the backside of the high pressure. And then we have a couple of little series of low pressure systems, system to the south and a system to the north, another clipper system. So on Tuesday, these two are going to work together with some available moisture from the Gulf to bring us mainly rain. Now, some have said, "Oh, the line looks too close. We may start out with a period of snow and then go to rain, or a mixture, then to rain." And there's all kinds of back and forth. If you've seen anything on social media, you know that it is what it is. The way this looks, the way this setup looks right now, I'm thinking it's going to be mainly rain for southern Kentucky. That's not to say that somebody maybe north of Bowling Green along the parkways, that go through E-Town, that would be the Western Kentucky Parkway and the Bluegrass Parkway. As the precipitation starts, it might just be cold enough for a mix. But remember, in order to have a variety of precipitation instead of just rain or just snow, you've got to look at the temperature profiles above you and not necessarily the temperature at the ground, because that makes a difference. So you got to be careful with, determining, oh, I think it's going to be this or that. Right now, the way I see us coming into Tuesday morning is that we're going to go from the mid 20s to a high of about 45 on Tuesday afternoon before the cold front that's north of here begins to push through. But see, this frontal boundary, even though it's shown as a stationary front, it's not going to be that stationary. I think it's going to act more as a warm front with the moisture coming in from the Gulf. So to me, that means that I think we would stay mostly rain here in southern Kentucky, while some locations north of us could get a little change. Or if anything's going to happen, it might be toward the end of this system. Like, as you see here, Wednesday morning, because we're going to go from about 44, 45 on Tuesday, and then fall back to about 25, 27 for early Wednesday morning, which is what you're seeing right here. So some of the rain, depending on how fast it moves out, if it still lingers for a little bit longer, there could be a period of some maybe sleet or freezing rain mixed in with the rain. But this is not going to be a system that just hangs around, not like our winter storm did. So right now, I'm not that concerned about this one. Not that concerned. We'll just have to wait and see how this shakes out with the next couple of runs of the models, okay? And then on Thursday, we clear out. Temperatures will be in the 30s. Here we go into Friday. Look, another warm front. And some parts of eastern Kentucky may get a little something there. And this would be a Great Lakes kind of setup here with a low pressure system up over Lake Michigan and throwing down the next piece of energy coming in with some snow showers, lake effect snows, and then some of that could drift a little bit further south. But this warm front means that by Friday, we're going to warm up back into the mid 40s, possibly even warmer. But then, as you see here, this is Saturday morning, and look at that big plunge of Arctic air. Whoo, boy. Now, are we going to get as cold as what we are right now? No, I don't think so. But we will fall from the 40s, mid 40s, back into the mid 30s or even low 30s once this shot of Arctic air begins to move in next Saturday. But we're in that period where we're going to go up and we're going to go down, and we're going to go up and we're going to go down. And because of that, the temperatures are going to be all over the place, and therefore some of our weather is going to be all over the place. So, yeah, just know that's the case for much of the coming week. All right, let's go to the European model, which is showing all of this snow that we're getting right now moving out and away. And here's the big winter storm that's now moving off into the Atlantic. But here's the big trough, the big cold air that we're feeling right now. But let's move ahead. Here we go into tomorrow. Things quiet down. And now we're going into Monday. And I want you to watch the warm-up. I want you to watch this warm-up. Here's the rain snow line right here, the cold and the warm, all right? Now watch what happens as we get into Monday afternoon and evening. Look at the warm-up. Yeah, I know we're kind of, again, on the fence, but there's no moisture here yet, okay? So then we go into Tuesday. Now we see a low-pressure system. It's not a very strong one, but it's enough to tap into some of this moisture and send it north into the air that is already cold. So, yes, maybe Tuesday, north of us, there could be this little mix into Tuesday evening and Wednesday morning. But look, the dividing line, if this holds, and again, this is not set in stone, if it holds, then you see that much further north of Bowling Green in southern Kentucky, there could be a little snow. But then look at all this rain, because this is the warmer side of the system, and that Gulf moisture is just shooting up into southern Kentucky, and then when it hits the cold air to the north, it turns to snow. This is going to be one of those situations I think is going to be rain or snow, no in between, no mixy stuff. So if the European model, which has been very, very on the money so far this winter, if this holds true, then we won't see mixy. We will see either snow or rain. But I think all of us here in southern Kentucky is just going to be rain. Here we go on into Wednesday. Now we're getting more cold air again. Here we go into Thursday. Cold, cold, cold. All right. Well, it's only going to stop. It's going to stop right there. Okay. It's all right. I'll load up another run. And here we go into Thursday. Now look at this. That's a fairly decent low pressure system that's coming in from Canada, and it's hitting the Great Lakes. This is where Some of the lake effect snows will try to get started here. And then because of this little sharp divot in the jet and then the into the Appalachians and Ohio Valley, this big dive here in the trough, then yes, some of this could blow into parts of Kentucky, as you saw in the last map, by, say, Friday afternoon and evening, and there you see it. But look, even this turns into a little bit of rain and not snow. But whatever comes is not going to be much. Here we go into next Sunday and into Monday. Look at this. Whoa. This, I have to change the color of my pen because look, that's warm air. Look at the warm air. OMG. This would be my next Monday night into Tuesday. Look at all that warm air. Oh, that's going to help us warm up. Look at that. And there we go. We keep going. It just keeps building. Is that going to hold true? Well, let's look at the model viewer, which shows us some promise, really. Look at the end here. I was talking about next, not this coming Tuesday, but the following weekend and week. Look at all those 40s. But even this coming Monday and Tuesday, we're talking about low to mid 40s, with a couple of times that we fall back into the mid 30s. Then we warm back. Look at that. Friday, next Friday, of course, the 6th, 48, maybe close to 50. Then we cool back down. See, we go up, we go down, we go up. This has been the way it's been, if you'll recall, all through the fall and now pretty much all through the winter. Up and down, up and down. There's very little consistency here. So it's going to be really, if you look at this 10-day stretch, the coldest day is tomorrow. Sunday, the first day of February. The coldest day out of the next 10 is going to be tomorrow. After that, it's going to get milder. Then it'll get cooler, but then it gets mild again. Then it gets cooler, then it gets mild again. So doesn't that make you feel a little better? And look at these lows in the teens and 20s. Yeah, they kind of stay there, but look at the end of this. You're seeing mid and upper 20s, close to 30 for low temperatures by the end of this period. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So just hang in there. I think we're going to get some warm air. We just have to be patient a little bit longer. And I know that patience is not everyone's virtue. And you know why I know that? Because of the... Have y'all seen that? So I took the opportunity this morning to make a little meme, if you will. And, it's my photo that I use on my weather page, Facebook and all that. But it's me face palming with saying, please, can we just have a weekend without hyping up a storm that is 4 to 7 days or more from now? I mean, really? And this meme has gotten a lot of reaction today. And I kind of thought it would. But it's like, I made this because there All I had to do was open up. As soon as I woke up this morning, I opened up social media, and there we go. Just one after the other. Oh, it's going to be, oh, look at this. That's a week away. Oh, look at this. That's 6 days away. Oh, look at this. That's 14 days away or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God. What the heck? And I know there's no way I can stop these people from doing this stuff, but I'm just trying to make a point that we need to bring it back a little bit. Just go, oh, hey, let's not get crazy here. And even the ones that post this stuff, they will say, "Now look, we're not trying to upset anybody. This is not really a forecast. But we want to be the first to let you know for planning purposes that this might be How much time do you need to plan? Holy cow. How much time does any of us, need to plan for a system coming in a week from now or even 4 days from now? Do you really need more than 4 days to plan for some kind of storm? As much preparation as I try to give you a heads up, do you really need more than that? No, these are glory hogs, grandstanders, hype casters. This is what they do. And they love it. And social media now pays for it. Oh, God. Yeah, so they get paid to put this crap on social media, and it just circles and cycles, and then it comes back around to me and people like me that are, we don't jump on those bandwagons. We try to reel it back a little bit and go, whoa, now wait a minute, let's not get the cart before the horse, as my grandpa used to say. Let's just bring it back here, pull the reins. Yeah, Cindy, you said it right. Don't get the cart before the horse. There she said it right there. I mean, I know hundreds and thousands they jump on their pages, then they share it to everybody else, and it goes all over the place, and then I have to try to fix it. So I'm hoping that all right, here's the thing. We gained a lot of new viewers from this winter storm this past weekend. I gained several thousand new viewers, okay? And I'm grateful for that. I thank the Lord for it, and I thank you for it. But I don't want all of these new viewers to come to me and expect me to jump on those bandwagons like some of the others do. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to hold back, because it's just, to me, it's irresponsible to go that far out and go, well, you don't really need to pay attention to this right now, but for giggles and for chuckles and just out of curiosity, we're going to post this. And they know that it's going to get you talking. They know what they're doing. They know it's going to get your attention, and then you're just going to go share it, and it's all just going to go viral, and it's just going to be all over the place. But then it's people like me and a few others like me that have to go, now, wait a minute. We don't need to be thinking about a storm that's coming over a week away or 2 weeks away or what, because so much can change. And we don't need to go there. And they all say, well, it's for planning, so people will have time to plan. Come on. How much time do you need? I mean, really. I think we've just, over the years, here's the thing that bothers me, and I thought about this today. Over the years, television weather has done such a poor job of just being about the facts. And the consultants in some places that are part of bigger TV markets and things like that, or even small ones, they say, now, if you want to get viewers, you have to kind of, maybe scare them a little bit to get the ratings, to get them to watch. There's got to be a reason to watch. And I think and I've said this before, I think we've overwarned you so many times that now you're just kind of like, every storm is a code red. Oh, yeah. I mean, just look around. Every storm is a code red, or it's a first alert weather day. What does that mean? And you get the red graphics everywhere. There's been so much of that now we just go, eh. Or we have the people that go, eh. Or we have the people that are like, it's another red letter day. It's another code red. Oh my God. I'm right about this. I'm just saying, I'm right. I've been at it long enough to know that I'm right about this. This is the kind of stuff that gets people not only scared, but hurt. You don't need that many days to plan for a storm coming that's going to be like a snowstorm or a winter storm. Now, if it's a tornado or a severe thunderstorm, that's things that happen at that moment or in that short span of time that you already should be aware of that could possibly happen. That's what we try to do, but it's about preparedness. Way before the storm, you should always be prepared, whether it's a winter storm or a severe storm in the summer or the spring or the fall. Hurricanes, whatever. It's all about, this is why I preach about staying prepared. If you're always prepared, then whatever comes, you're ready for. You don't need all of these maps and colors and people shouting and turning things red to cause you to be so anxious and nervous about every storm that comes. It's ridiculous. So that's why I did that. Yes, it's funny, but it's to prove a point. We just don't need all that junk. And that's what it is, junk. It's just junk. Anyway. All right. Now, I'm hoping that many of you took the time to think about, the power went out. Some of the power is still out in a few places, not very many. I mean, it's down to a few hundred now. But it's got a lot of people thinking about getting a generator from Generac and R&R Controls. I cannot tell you how many people have called R&R and have called that telephone number at the top to see about getting a generator. And some of them did it as this winter storm this past weekend was coming through. I'm not kidding, because they called Barry Connolly at R&R and they said, is there anything that you can do and hook up right now that would, you know what? They tried their very best, but they can only do so much when it's that close to the storm. These things take a little planning, If you're going to get a generator like that one and get it hooked up to your house or your business, you can't just have them come out within a few hours and hook it up. It just can't be done. So now Barry told me that he has got now a list, a pretty long one, of people that have called since the winter storm and like, we want one of those generators. So guess what he's going to be doing when the weather clears up a little more? He and his crew are going to be bunches. He sent me a list, and I'm like, how long does this list go? He says, this is only part of it. So, yes, storms help sell generators. But think about it. Think about it. It makes sense. If you don't want your power to go out, whether it's for a winter storm, an ice storm, a tornado, severe storm, hurricane, whatever, wherever you may be, you need a generator. And R&R Controls has the number one name in generators, and that's Generac. So next week, since this is a Saturday, give them a call and get on the list. I would rather have my name on the list than to wait and think, well, the list is probably long, so I'll just wait. Don't do that. Get on the list to have them come out and do a consultation with you, take a look at your home, how big it is, square footing, and all that. They can take a look and see what size generator you're going to need for your house, or maybe it's for your business. 270-777-2024. Easy number. 270-777-2024. Or you can go to rnrhvac.com. Because with R&R Controls, you'll never be without. I guarantee you, you get one of those generators in, the next time your power goes off, whew, you're going to be able to go right through. For maybe 5 to 10 seconds after your power goes off, your generator kicks in and you keep rolling. Everything, all of it, keeps going. That's how great they are. All right, let's see here. Here's Connie. Hi from Metcalfe County. Let's see here. Here is Deborah. We have a winter box and we have a tornado box in the spring. Preparedness box. That's perfect. That's what you should have. Cindy, use common sense. Here's Wanda. This is a good point. People with anxiety, it hurts. I know because I've talked to hundreds of people that suffer from storm anxiety. I used to be one of them. As a kid, I grew up absolutely horrified of just little old thunderstorms. And I didn't know why. It just made me panic. But it also made me study weather and how it works. And so look, here I am talking about it. I don't get scared of it anymore. I respect it. And I know what the weather can do. But I don't get scared of it. I'm not anxious about it anymore. And so I have talked a lot of people through being scared of storms or anxious about severe weather. And it's only because I've lived through it. So I know how you feel. Here's Mitchell. I despise the deep cold, but the snow came in handy. I tracked 4 cottontails down. Gonna be a good dinner. Mitchell, we're gonna come over for dinner. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Oh, did you see what I just did? Yeah. Yum, yum. Hey, Grandpa, what's for supper? Well, we've got country ham and biscuits and cottontail. Yum, yum. Y'all remember that from Hee Haw? Grandpa Jones, he looks like he's wiping the window. Hey, Grandpa, what's for supper? And he would list off and I would sit there going, I want to go to Grandpa Jones's house for dinner. He's serving cottontail. Here is Marcella. When you get concerned than I do, well, it's concern is a good way to put it. It's not being scared. It's not being anxious. Concern you should always have when the weather gets bad. So yeah. Let's see here. Here is Carolyn from Rosine. Thank you, Chris, for keeping us updated. Well, thank you, Carolyn from Rosine, watching. Cindy, don't get the horse before the cart. Don't get the horse before the cart. You're exactly right. So here's Tammy. Thanks, Chris, from Burkesville. Well, thank you, Tammy, down in Burkesville. Here's Virginia, watching from Horse Cave. Thank you for the update. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. All right. Here's Brad. Blessed be the warm air dome. LOL. Oh, you guys are great. So we're hoping for some melting to take place next week. I know it's been a long, long time. The problem is all this snow and ice is still around because we just can't get enough above freezing. Excuse me. And even when we get a little bit of sun to come through, it's still not enough. We need consistent days above freezing, like 3 or 4. If we can get 3 or 4 days well above freezing, all of this will be gone. But it's going to take a little bit longer, as you can see from the forecast. All right. I'm done, you guys. Thank you for taking time out of your Saturday night to watch. I'll be back tomorrow and give you another look at the forecast and see what's going on. For the 270, in the meantime, God bless you, and thank you for watching.